Hello and welcome back to the podcast. We are selling. Happy New Year and welcome to this week's coaching tips around prospecting. My name's Lee Woodward, the author of the Complete Salesperson course and Claiming Doors. Today, we're going to be looking at compression, reverse engineering, and bringing together great opportunities from the marketplace who you need to have one eye in the future, could be your future seller, but the triggering and stimulation of making that happen is how it all works. And I also want to further discuss the word next. What's your next property look like? And also what we can do with our established clients, which is probably one of the most important campaigns. We say it all the time in this program, love the one you're with. But let's get started with our first tip. Today we're going to be discussing a reverse prospecting technique using buyer management, engagement, and compelling reasons why an owner would consider the opportunity to chat with you about the future sale of their property. And the coaching tip is this. When you're communicating with your purchasing community, you may have shown them some homes they didn't like, or they've come to a few of your opens and it wasn't suitable for them. Instead of saying, I'll call you as soon as I get something else, if something arrives, I'll let you know, actually say this. As you're driving around, looking through the streets, you're going to come across properties that you do like. If you see a house out there that catches your eye, it's right in the area where you want to be. It's got the right theme, you love it, you want to have a look at it. I'd like you to text me the address of the property and I will go and approach them on your behalf. I will let them know that their property has been nominated as a property of interest. And with all our purchasing community, we offer that service. Many people would sell if they didn't have to go on the market. Many people would sell if they got the right price but haven't given it much thought. And if I can get an owner to consider the opportunity of releasing the property, that would give me a great opportunity to come back to you and say we have a direct hit on the property that you've selected. Now, today's coaching tip has multiple benefits. One, the purchaser you are searching for could be a buyer-seller, and they see that you're a hard worker. You care about their move. You're prepared to put that sweat and effort in to get an outcome for them in the moving and sale of a property that they wish to purchase. The second benefit is you have a compelling reason to prospect and communicate with future sellers. So, for example, if I knocked on the door, "Hi, Mr. Williams. You don't know me at all. My name's Lee Woodward from Complete Real Estate. The reason I'm here to see you today is your property has been nominated as a property of interest from a family that we've been looking to find property for in the local area. Quite often people go and look at what's on the market and cannot find what they want. And as part of our service in helping people as best as we can, we say to them, as you're driving around, if you see a property you like, one you fall in love with, just text us the address and we will approach the owner on the off chance that there could be a possibility of them moving or releasing the property for the right price. And that's the reason I'm here. I promised I'd make contact with you. Can I ask you, and I know it's a long shot, would you give any consideration to releasing the property for the right price? Out of role play, whatever their answer, it just compresses the conversation to give you an answer. If it's yes, not sure what I get, you're in normal channels of finding a potential seller. If it's no, we're not interested, we're fine here, just tag it with this question. When that day comes when you've got no further use for the property, where are you off to next? That question is a great tag question for anyone you're speaking to. When you have no further use for this place, where would you be off to next? And believe me, everyone is going somewhere next. Today's coaching tip is about activating conversations. It's about having people nominate properties for you, which gives you that compelling reason to communicate with people about the truth that someone's interested in their property. People absolutely love that they've been nominated. somebody else took the time to take a photo or a text of their property. You're not doing the whole street, but you'd be amazed how many direct connections happen every year in our industry as people report back to me the property nomination is how we did it. And for a lot of people who have parked the thought of selling, this is what stimulates them to do something with their move. Now, the second part of my podcast today is a very simple tip, and it's still in line with love the one you're with. But one technique I did as I was driving around, and for me as a real estate sales professional, there was so much downtime that you could make a default activity. Downtime meaning I'm driving out to an appointment, the lady rings up, kids are caught up at sport, I'm going to be half an hour late. Is it still okay to come and see it? And you've got to make that choice. Do I drive back to the office? Do I drive home? Do I go somewhere else? Or do I say yes to the appointment that has to be rebooked anyway, but move on to a default activity? And my favourite default activity was this. My entire established client database, every person I've sold for, every person who's purchased off me is obviously an established client, an EC. That EC, I had a printed document version, hard-covered, in my car, in alphabetical order of street. If I'm in Abbey Street, I can look it up, call Abbey. If I'm in Bennett Street, look it up, and all the houses I've sold in that street, I would make contact at that time. And it's the perfect time to make contact because you're in that street. And if you're hot spotting, you may have had something just sold and you're through B and you want to go onto Carlos Street and then going on to Goody Avenue. But as a default, it just allowed you to get through 20, 30 established client calls a week in the downtime that nothing is happening. That's the tip. It's pretty simple, but this show is about simple is difficult. Now, next week, our real estate industry is returning. We're back on the podcast interviews, and I have some excellent interviews coming up with some up-and-coming agents who've really found their groove. They've gone through those first couple of years of not knowing where they are and suddenly doing better numbers than people have been around for 20 years. How does that happen? They found their groove. They've got their rhythm. So really looking forward to those shows. Happy New Year again to everyone. We're in 2026. I'm Lee Woodward. I look forward to seeing you live at the Complete Salesperson course. Till next week, goodbye.